guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carol and the name of my channel is My Blessed Nest. And today I'm here to participate in a challenge. It's a monthly challenge and it's hosted by Yami from the Latina Next Door. And each month she chooses a different co-host. This month's co-host is Casey from Coffee with My Sunshine. And I love both of their channels. I'm actually subscribed to both and fans of both. And I always look forward to this challenge. In the past, watching it and now participating. This will be my second month participating. I'll link last month's challenge in the cards for you if you would like to check out that video. So I've got my paint shirt on and I'm ready to get crafting. I found this cute tray. It's a metal tray on a trip to Amish country in a thrift store, and I can also link that video if you'd like to watch the video when I found the tray. I actually found 4 of them. One of the trays I'm already using in my laundry room to put my detergent on to keep the sloppiness down where it drips all over my washer. And I'm probably going to use the other 3 for crafts. The whole gist of the challenge is we are to find something that we like that's a little bit more expensive than we want to pay and craft it ourselves. So recently when I was in Amish country, actually the same day that I found this tray, I saw something in a store that was really cool. I actually don't know what the price was, but I've also looked on Pinterest for some pricing and it's more than I want to pay. So I will put some pictures of these items in for you so you can see what I'm talking about. And that's where I got my idea. The first thing I'm going to do is take a paper towel and get some of the Goo Gone. This is just something you can buy at the store. It says removes grease, stickers, tar, gum, crayon, and tape. It's a good thing to have. It smells really good. It's got a citrus scent to it. So I'm going to find where the sticker was and just give that a good rub to get all that residue off of there so that I don't ruin my paint job. Now I'm going to use my vinegar, which I have in the bowl here, and I'm just going to dip my paper towel in that and give the whole tray a good rub down. I did a little research on painting metal and it suggested that. I'm just going to let my tray air dry. I just had this all-purpose primer on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. You can probably buy a special primer for metal. I have a paint stick to stir it up good, an old paintbrush, and this is something they give you free at the paint store to open up your paint. So I'm going to go ahead and get this opened up and give it a good stir. Okay, my tray is dry from my vinegar, and I have my primer all stirred up good. So I'm going to take my old paintbrush and give this a good coat of primer. You could use a spray paint primer. I am not very good with spray painting and I didn't really want to go outside for the ventilation of that, so I'm just using this, and plus this is what I had on hand. And I like to use what I have rather than incurring more expense. I'm kind of a use what I have on hand kind of girl. I'm only doing the top. I'm not going to do anything with the back. My hope for this is to display it on a shelf that my husband's going to be making for me for my birthday. It's kind of like a picture ledge for in my living room. So maybe we'll show that down the road, but he hasn't built it yet. I'm going to make sure I get the edges. I think I would suggest a smaller brush if I had this to do over. Maybe even a foam brush that I could just throw away. I noticed that the edges were dripping, so I did decide to get out my trusty foam brush and just go along the edge and clean that up. That looks a lot better. I'm much happier with that. Here is the picture I took in the store in Amish country of my inspiration piece. It's actually like a wooden type plate. When I was looking on Pinterest, I found this sign, which I actually like the size of the letters and the way it's set up a lot better than my inspiration piece. So it shows that it's sold by Etsy for $26. Here's an overview of the items that I'm going to be using. I have my tray that's been primed and my letters that I printed out from the computer. As you can see, I played around with fonts and sizes until I came up with this design. I have my sponge brushes and then my specialty brushes for when I get to doing the lettering. There's some different sizes there. These are my favorite ones. As far as choosing a paint scheme, I was debating between these two colors for my base coat. One is Country Gray and the other one is Wedgwood Green. We do have some green in our living room, which is where I want to put the sign, but the gray won out. So I'm going to be using the Country Gray. And then I also have black and matte, and I'm going to be using the white acrylic paint, which is matte as well. I'm also going to be using this artist graphite paper for when I transfer my lettering to the tray. Just a regular number 2 pencil and this blue painter's tape. When I paint, I like to use old lids to put the paint in. I'm going to take my letters off because we're going to put the base coat on first, and I'm going to start with this Country Gray. Give it a good shake. Put some in my little tray, and I'm going to choose a sponge brush for this job. Here's a little tip for you. While my first coat of paint is drying, I'm going to take a little sandwich baggie and slip the lid that I'm painting out of, the paintbrush and all, into there, and just put a little twist tie around it. It's not going to be that long for it to dry, and then I can come back and not have to clean my brush. And it'll keep it moist so it doesn't dry out. The paint has dried on my third coat, and I'm happy with how it looks. You can kind of see the white primer through that, and I like that look. So now I'm going to arrange my words of how I want them. Okay, I have scissors and the painter's tape. I'm going to trim off the words a little bit here, just so they fit better on my tray. Okay, I think I like it like that. So I'm going to take some of the blue painter's tape and tape down the patterns. Just a little piece on each of these should do the trick. I just need to be able to flip it up to get the graphite paper underneath. Kind of acts like a little hinge. And the blue painter's tape will keep from pulling up any paint when I remove it. Now I'm going to take my graphite paper, and as you can see, this is well used. You can use it many times before you have to replace it. But what I like to do is place it underneath my letters or my pattern, whatever you want to say, the graphite side down. And I like to just do a little test tracing to make sure that the graphite paper still is working, and also that I have the correct side down. So if you can see that, there's the line. So it's ready to go. So all you have to do is just apply some pressure with your pencil and just trace out the letters. All right, let's see how the first word turned out. Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to continue with the same piece of graphite paper, and each time that I do it, I will be testing it. So the very next thing you're going to want to do is wash your hands, because you get graphite on them and that's going to smear onto your project. Your next step is to carefully check and just give it one more look over, make sure that everything is the way you want it, because it's hard to reline up something once you tear off the pattern. So if it's good to go, gently tear off your patterns and get those out of the way. I like to cut the tape off of the pattern and just leave that little part there in case I ever want to make the project again. I save all my patterns. Okay, here's my lettering. Now there is a little bit of smudging here from the graphite, but I'm not worried about that. That should erase with an eraser, but I want to wait until the paint is really, really dry and cured before I do that. I'm going to try this paintbrush for the Pray Big, and it is a 3mm 1/8 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the letter in black. I'll see if I need to use the Sharpie or not. This letter is pretty large, so I may get away without having to outline the letters. Okay, I think I'm gonna try outlining the rest of the letters because it looks nice and crisp when you do that, and it takes less time to paint. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint these so that I can rest my hand over here and not get into the paint. Okay, here's how it's looking so far, close up. This time I'm going to go for a much smaller paintbrush. I'm going to try this one first. The size is a level 2 detail 12/0. So I'm going to try that, and if it's too big, I'll go down one. I've got all my lettering done. I'll hold that up so you can see it. I wanted to show you an option of what I came up with of how I might use this on my shelf here. I think if I had it to do over again, I would make the Pray Big much larger. But I do like the outcome of the project. I just think it would have more impact if I would have put the Pray Big bigger. But it was a learning experience. I've never done anything like this before. So let's talk budget. The Etsy sign that I found as my second inspiration piece was $26. And basically the only expense that I put into this project was my 39-cent tray. Everything else that I used, I had on hand. I'm looking around my table here just to double check. I already had my graphite paper, my paints, my brushes, my painter's tape, my markers. So if you would have to purchase any of that, of course your cost would be higher. Oh, I also had primer on hand too that I had used from another project. So overall, I would say I am happy with it. Like I said earlier, the only thing I would do different is the size of the letters. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that you would ever try, if you found a metal tray, if you would try making it over or not, and what you thought of the project, and if there's something that you have advice for me for next time, because I do have 2 more trays left and I might do another project. Well, I really enjoyed participating in this project, this collaboration, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks to Yami from the Latina Next Door and her co-host this month, Casey, of Coffee with My Sunshine. I really appreciate all your hard work putting this together and the opportunity to participate. If you liked my video, please give me a big like and consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Thank you to all my current subscribers for all your love and support that you've given me on my channel so far. That's all for this time, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.